Hello, world. Welcome to another night of trivia. I hope you are well. Cement Shoes, good evening. Gemma, Kitiku, good evening. Well, I'm glad you're looking forward to it, Cement Shoes. Every one of these questions tonight are on Richard Allen, the alleged killer of Abby and Libby out of Delphi, Indiana. And I have a brief statement that I'll need to read before we start tonight. Caroline, good evening and welcome to tonight's trivia. Juicy Jules, welcome as well. I hope everyone had a great week and weekend. Heather Rykard, good evening and welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a great weekend. I will upload a video I think you will be interested in. I hope so. I'm interested in it. I like watching a lot of what you upload, Gemma. Dee Dee, good evening, Dee Dee. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a great weekend, Dee Dee. Glad you could be here with us. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes and then we're going to get the trivia started. Waiting for everybody to mosey in here. Notifications. Did I get a notification tonight? I did. That's a 50-50 mix with YouTube. If I get a notification that I'm live at all, but I got one tonight. Remember to be on all chat, not top chat. That is correct. Check it, and depending on what streaming software you're using or what actual internet software. It's in the upper right-hand corner, top of the chat itself. You should see either all chat or top chat. Make sure that you switch it to all. Means a lot. Well, I will apologize for my sore throat on my video. I sound funny. There's no need to apologize for it. You can just basically mention it and go from there, Gemma. People, I don't think they need much more of an apology than that. Good evening, Cal Elisa. Good evening and welcome to tonight's trivia. I did, Cal Elisa. Pretty relaxing. Didn't do a whole heck of a lot. Basically, just hung out with the family. All right, a couple, maybe about 10 more seconds and we'll get this going. Like I said, I have a brief statement that I need to read before we do tonight's trivia. So let's get into that. All right, this is the 327th episode of Trivia. 327th Trivia Night. I have never previously hosted a trivia night centered around a subject currently on trial for alleged crimes. For tonight's trivia, however, I have taken the extra precaution of consulting my personal attorney. Every question has been carefully reviewed to ensure that no undisclosed public information is shared, so as to not to compromise the states or to interfere with the defense. So every single question on tonight's trivia has been thoroughly, gone over to make sure that it is known in the public forum and not something that hasn't been publicized. Additionally, all of the bonus, did you know ones that are in the trivia are based on statements made by friends, the individual spouse, former coworkers, and people who spent time at two local taverns drinking with him. Out of the respect of their privacy, I will not disclose their names of these establishments or the people that have requested to remain confidential. That is a big, huge stickler because the places that he hung out and people who made these statements will most likely have to be called into evidence at some point in the actual trial itself. So even if you ask me the names of them, I will not divulge them under the, guidance of my personal attorney. I will not do so. With that in mind, viewer discretion is strongly advised. By law, I have restricted the content of everything I stream to ages 16 plus. Nor myself nor those who run ads on this content are responsible for the misuse or illegal access of content by of people accessing it under the age of 16. Good evening, Interpeas, and welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope I did not miss anyone else. All right, question number 1. What date did Abby Williams and Libby German go missing in Delphi, Indiana? Was it A, February 16th, 2017, B, March 24th, 2016, C, February 13th, 2017, or D, June 10th, 2017, or E, other? No studying on this one other than what we've heard. You take all the notes you want, Kitty Coo. What date did Abby and Libby go missing in Delphi, Indiana? Question number 1. Excuse me. 2 other things that I was not allowed to do, and you won't find in this trivia tonight, is any kind of comments that are disparaging of Richard Allen himself. That is not from a publicly released statement or comment from someone who is remaining anonymous. If you see something in this stream tonight that is a disparaging about him and his character, that is a statement that is being held, that was received, and is being, the name of the person is being withheld who actually said it. Heather and Caroline, Kitty Q, and Kylie are all going with C. Juicy Jules is going with A. Rykar's going with E. I don't remember. Justice for Abby and Libby. Yes. Justice for Abby and Libby. We truly hope we get justice for them both. Question number 1. The correct answer is C as in cat. February 13th of 2017 is when Abby and Libby went missing in Delphi, Indiana. C is the correct answer for the first question. Question number 2. Where were Abby and Libby last seen alive on February 13th of 2017? Was it A, downtown Delphi, Indiana, B, in the parking lot of their high school, C, near the Monon High Bridge, or D, near Lake Snake River Bridge walking path, or E, other? Question number 2 of 20. Where was the last place that Abby and Libby were seen alive? Sorry, I just realized that I didn't have myself in my little window. Hello, little window for me. Sheep, Alan. Where was the last place that they were seen alive? That trial is not televised, and people have to camp out to get a seat in the court. They definitely decided to not broadcast it, not even on delay, which is ridiculous. And this picture, Alan, looks like a skinny Santa Claus, kind of. This was of his own making. He went on a hunger strike, and he actually lost about 18 pounds during the time that he refused to eat. He was, and his own statements, I will add, he said that he was under extreme mental duress and was unable to sleep or eat. And that's when this photo was taken, was prior to one of his, televised court hearings. He starved himself, basically, Juicy Jules. Basically did. He basically starved himself, but he lost weight. But don't fret. He's chunked himself right back up. Question number 2 of 20. Right card's going with D. Cement Shoes C. Caroline D as well. Kitty Q is going with D. Question number 2. Oh, I am mental illness, right? Mental illness. Wasn't he eating paper? They said that he ate a lot of different things, right, Cart? He chewed on plastic a lot. But, yeah, well, I guess we have to wait until the court case is over with to find out if he really ever actually did it. All right, question number 2. The correct answer is C as in cat, near the Monon High Bridge. They were spotted by somebody else who saw them as they approached the bridge on the walking path. This was probably about 7 or 8 minutes before they were on the bridge, and they would meet the bridge guy, who is what he was originally referred to in the newspapers, the bridge guy. But that was the last place that they were officially spotted before. Last place, near the Monon High Bridge. Question number 3. What led to a search being initiated for Abby and Libby? Was it A, failing to meet up with a pickup time? B, an escaped sex offender in the area? C, a dropped cell call from Abby? D, Richard Allen confession at a bar earlier? Or E, other? I don't know how well you can see this picture that I've used here of Richard Allen, but if you look in the upper left-hand corner, you will see a red circle in the upper left-hand corner of this picture. That is of the initial sketch that was released by law enforcement for information to an individual that was connected with the disappearance of Abby and Libby. This was a picture that was taken of him in a local bar, and the wanted poster was right there in the upper corner that is circled. The lower left-hand corner is it was a picture of the head of another individual, a lady, who is leaning into the photo, but it has been pixelated out. But in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see it is a red circle. What led to the search being initiated for Abby and Libby? Kitty Q, Heather, Gemma, Rodcart, Jesse, Jules are all going with A. No. Callie Lisa's going with A as well. Question number 3 of 20. All right. Question number 3 of 20. The correct answer is A as in apple. Failing to meet up at a pickup time. They were dropped off there, and they had a prearranged time that they were supposed to meet back for family to pick them up. And when they didn't show up is when they initiated a basic search, and then that search went on longer and longer, and then law enforcement got involved and everything else from there for the actual discovery, and until the actual discovery of Abby and Libby. All right, next. Did you know? I'm going to read you. Do you see it on the screen there? This is a letter from Richard Allen. And I have a copy of it here. So I'm going to put it back up on the screen. And I'm going to read you. Now, Richard Allen in total has written the judge, court, the state, anyone. He has sent a total of 13 letters to the court. From the time of his initial arrest until even now that he has attorneys, who are representing him, he just can't stop writing them for stupid requests. This one is written to the Carroll Circuit Court. And then he actually references the case number. that he is being charged with for the actual murders of Abby and Libby. In the case listed above, I, Richard M. Allen, hereby throw myself at the mercy of the court. I am begging to be provided legal assistance in the public defender or whatever help is available. At my initial hearing on October 28th of 2022, I asked to find a representation for myself. However, at the time, I had no clue how expensive it would be just to talk to someone. I also did not realize what my life and eyes, that's what it says, what my life and my eyes immediately financial situation was going to be. We have both been forced to immediately abandon employment. Myself due to incarceration, and my wife for her personal safety. She's had to abandon the house for her own safety as well. What literal reserves there was will fail to even maintain the original residency. Again, I throw myself at the mercy of the court. Please provide me whatever assistance you may. Thank you for your time in this most urgent matter. Sincerely, signed Richard M. Allen, and then he printed his name below it. Again, 13 letters. And the last letter he sent to the court was actually 2 weeks ago. All right, question number 4. Where were the gruesome discovery of the remains of both Abby and Libby discovered at? Was it A, behind a local bar in downtown Delphi? B, in a van down by the river? C, on train tracks of the Monon Bridge? Or D, less than 100 yards from Deer Creek? Or E, other? If you would like to read most of the letters, not all 13 of them have been submitted and been released. The one I just read you was from November 9th of 2022. You can find, I believe, 8 of the 13 letters online. If you just Google Richard Allen letters, you should be able to find copies of them online, and you can read them yourself. His penmanship is not that bad. It's not the best, but it's not that bad. I mean, I've definitely read a lot worse than that, and seen a lot worse handwriting from people who are alleged to have committed horrific crimes. But question number 4 of 20 is where we are right now at this juncture. Where were the gruesome discovery of the remains of both Abby and Libby discovered at? Chris Owens, good evening and welcome to tonight's trivia, Chris. Question number 4. Rackart is going with D as well. D seems to be a popular one for this question. Let's see. Let me scroll up here see if there's any other ones. It looks like we are going D. Strong D across the board. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the correct answer to question 4 of 20 is, in fact, D. Less than 100 yards from Deer Creek. Less than 100 yards from Deer Creek is where both of the girls were found, laid out next to each other. May God rest their souls. And let's pray that we get justice for Abby and Libby. Question number 5. What evidence did Libby capture on her cell phone that became crucial evidence in the investigation? Was it A, tattoos on the killer's forearms, a photo? B, video and audio? C, shoes the killer was wearing, a photograph of the shoes that the killer was wearing? D, pictures of Snooki from Jersey Shore? Or E, other? What evidence did Libby capture on her cell phone that became crucial evidence in the investigation? Question number 5 of 20. Smoke them if you got them. And then, as you can see in this photo of him with the beard, this is a more recent photo of him. You can see he's put the weight back on. So no more hunger strike or eating paper or plastic or whatever the hell else he was eating. But he has definitely put the weight back on. The photo that I should have pointed out on the last question, in question 4, was a photo of him being transferred from one jail to the courthouse. And you can see from that photo as well that he has definitely put the weight back on. Love, Will, and the family. Oh, thank you, Juicy Jules. We got a lot of B's here for question number 5 of 20. What is the correct answer? Question number 5 of 20. The correct answer is, in fact, B, video and audio. Video and audio is what she caught on her actual cell phone. Not the best cell phone footage. And yes, the cell phone that she was using at the time was an older iPhone, is what she was using. Now, if it had been, a newer model, it definitely would have caught, much better video. But she was using an older model iPhone, a hand-me-down, at that. I mean, but that was what she actually caught the video and audio on. Question number 6. What law enforcement agency took the lead of the investigation, but quickly brought in the Indiana State Police for additional help? Was it A, the DP, the Delphi Police Department, B, the CCS, the Carroll County Sheriff, C, the BMI, the Barry Morphew Investigators, D, the FBI, or E, other? What law enforcement agency took the lead of the investigation, but quickly brought in the Indiana State Police for an additional help? Question number 6 of 20. The rat card is Jules, Cement, Catalisa. Oh, Catalisa's going with A, but the others are going with B. Rat card's going with C. Caroline, B. Kitty Q, B question mark. I don't know. Could be B. We'll find out. Gemma is going with A. You'll notice as we go through these tonight just how many different looks that Richard Allen has. That came upon me, and I was actually thinking about that. And if you look at the total different, the sheer amount of different photos that are known of someone like Richard, not Richard Ramirez, but Gary Ridgway. If you look at all the different photos of Ridgway, and then you look at the pictures of Richard Allen, they've changed their looks. Now, the photos that we're seeing here over and over again, these different ones, these are all of him just while he's in jail. How many different times do you think he changed his appearance and how he looked on the outside before he was arrested? Tough one, says Juicy Jules. Going with B. Heather, Gina. Good evening, Gina, and welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I'm glad you could be here with us tonight. And Juicy Jules is going with A as well. Question 6 of 20. The correct answer for question 6 is B as in boy. The CCS, the Carroll County Sheriff's Department, was the first investigators on the scene to look for Abby and Libby, but quickly called in the Indiana State Police before they made the initial call before the discovery of them. And as they were still searching is when they came upon the gruesome what happened to Abby and Libby. I will not get into more of that. That is something again that will come out in the court case. So stay tuned to the actual trial and updates from that from actual news sources. But the Carroll County Sheriff's Department was the ones that were initially on the scene who called in the Indiana State Police for additional help. All right, did you know murders of Abby and Libby are not the only unsolved murders from this part of the state of Indiana? There are several others, none of which share the same MMO or modus of operandi as Abby and Libby's murders, and none of them are ritualistic in nature. A lot of people went with the idea because it was put out there by the defense that this was ritualistic by an Odin clan or people who were into worshiping, or sacrificing people, and for Odin. Now there are some Odinists who do live within about 70 miles of the actual area that are known practicers of the Odin, worshiping of Odin. But all of the unsolved murders, none of them that have been found to this point that have been unsolved that can be connected to Richard Allen because of the motive operandi that he used to kill and dispatch Abby and Libby, if he is alleged to have done. I should put that in there. But none of them, again, are ritualistic in nature at all. Next question. Question 7 of 20. What platform did law enforcement use to release the audio and video recording of Libby's cell phone before they were killed, showing their attacker an audio of him? Was it A, direct to media outlets at meetings? B, did they release it on TikTok only? C, did they release it on OnlyFans? D, Facebook? Or E, other? Bim, bim, bim. The more you know. He's a chameleon. I think it's interesting, Reichardt, when it comes down to just how quickly and how able he is behind bars to change his appearance from one thing to another. The one photo we saw was of him in the bar. He looked like a heavier, set man with not that long of a beard. Then he's in jail and he's slimmed down. He's shaved his head, and he has a longer beard. And then the next one, he's heavier set and he's got a beard. And then the next one, he keeps on changing his appearance. Now think about the actual sketches. There are 2 sketches. The first one made the person look like a younger man. The second one was closer and almost spot on, and we'll get into it, how he matches the data points on it of that second sketch. But how quickly he's been able to do it behind bars. How often did he change it outside? Well, we know that some people who worked with him or drank with him have made statements that are very alarming, let's just say. Somehow I ended up 2 minutes delay in chat. Oh, I'm sorry, Cement Shoes. All right, question number 7. The correct answer is A as in apple. At media outlets, meeting them directly is how they release the video and the audio. Everyone knows about the 3 seconds of audio and video of the bridge guy, is what they called him at the time, wearing a blue hat and a blue jacket and a blue hat, walking towards them. And the only thing on that audio recording, that 3 seconds that they released, he says, "Down the hill." That's all he says on that audio recording. Now, the actual real audio recording is much longer than 3 seconds, but In that 3 seconds, that's all they've released to it. But from Abby's cell phone was that. Do you know that voice? Does that voice sound familiar to you? They were trying to garner leads in the investigation based on that. Question number 8. What was the first nickname given to the unknown person of interest in the killing of Abby and Libby by local and state media outlets in Indiana? Was it A, Blue Man, B, Slender Man, C, The Situation, or D, The Bridge Guy, or E, Other? He's like Manson and Bundy always look different. Yeah. Especially, Bundy. Bundy was able to change his appearance. He would talk about a real chameleon. He could slide in and out of different social circles by the way he dressed and the way he talked. He was either just like a hip guy, or he was a professor, or he was someone of, a trusting person. He could slide in and out of everything because he knew so much, a little bit here and a little bit there of different, groups, cliques, or whatever you call it. But he changed his appearance a lot, from bushy hair to slicked back hair to short hair to, preppy looking clothing to, a suit and tie, looking like a professor to, talk about a real chameleon. Bundy was a chameleon. But all the way across, when it came to Ted Bundy, he was all about gaining your trust and making you drop your guard against who he was. Question number 8 of 20. How creepy, especially to 2 helpless girls, right? Question 8 of 20. The correct answer is D as in dog. The Bridge Guy is what they initially called him in the state and local media in the state of Indiana, the Bridge Guy. Question number 9. What notable physical characteristic does the Bridge Guy and Richard Allen both share? Is it A, a slumbering hunch over walk in stance? B, left foot that points inward? C, heavy set and crooked neck? D, mountain lion tattoo on right hand? Or E, other? Question number 9 of 20. Oh, good evening, Gianna Marie. I'm glad you were able to make it tonight, though. You're not too late. You're more on time than those who are not here. Just remember that. Calilisa, Cement Shoes, and Kitty Q are all going with A. But Kitty Q adds a question mark. I don't know. It could be A. What notable physical characteristic does the Bridge Guy and Richard Allen both share? Lemon Pie is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Lemon Pie. Glad you could be here with us tonight, Lemon Pie. I hope you had a terrific weekend. Reichart's going with C. No one's guessing A. Why is no one guessing A? I mean, D. Why is no one guessing D? Maybe he has a mountain lion tattoo on his right hand. Maybe. No? Think you guys would remember a mountain lion tattoo on his hand? Lemon Pie, he has love handles. What notable physical characteristic does the Bridge Guy and Richard Allen both share? I'm just listening, Will, as I've not been well all week. My brain feels fried. Rest up, Gemma. Rest up, sweetheart. Sometimes the best thing to do is just sit back, drink some orange soda. I know you like the orange soda, and just chill. Just listen. You may learn something new tonight from all of this. All right, question number 9. The correct answer is A as in apple. A slumbering, hunched over walk and stance. Even if you take Richard Allen right now out of the situation, he walks like the bridge guy. Where shuffling their feet with a hunched over walk and stance. Both of them have the same physical characteristic. That is not new information. If you watch the video and how the bridge guy walked towards the girls on a train trestle of all places, with the hunched over head forward and and walk, it's the same way that Richard Allen is in court right now, hunched over in walking stance. All right. Did you know both Abby and Libby's parents have received death threats and endless harassment online from around the world because of rumors that were completely false? Both of them, hold on a second, both of them, the lies were about them enriching themselves from GoFundMe accounts, saying that they were purchasing cars, trucks, and taking luxury trips before they ever caught Richard Allen. You can find these videos still on YouTube. You may even be a subscriber of some of these channels with these hateful content towards both sets of parents, both of Abby's and Libby's. People made these videos and they did this, and they called their action to their viewers, their subscribers, because they wanted people to stop the money that they were coming into GoFundMe accounts. The GoFundMe, an independent audit of all the money that came into the GoFundMe, 100% of it was accounted for, and all of it went to make the memorial park for both Abby and Libby. Neither parents, either any of them, not the parents, step parents, girlfriends, boyfriends, uncles, anyone from the family of either one, enriched themselves from a penny from any of this. They weren't paid for media attention. They weren't paid to to write books. They weren't paid to make TV movies. Nothing. And if there was some kind of compensation, it all went towards making the memorial park in their memory. Again, an independent audit proved that no one enriched themselves at all. But there are still people out there, and I know I have a list of some videos, and I'm not going to share the names of those channels, but they still have content on their channels that they have now since made private because they're embarrassed by the fact that they have made content calling for people to look into why these people are enriching themselves over this tragedy. And it's disgusting. Excuse me. All right. That is our break time, ladies and gentlemen. Or did we skip? Did we skip the last question? We did. It skipped over question 10. Sorry. Nope. Don't go away yet. We still have 10. Question 10. How old were both Abby and Libby when they were both murdered on February 13, 2017? And then after this question, we will have break. Is it A, Abby was 14 and Libby was 14? B, Abby was 12 and Libby was 13? C, Abby was 13 and Libby was 13? D, Abby was 13 and Libby was 14? Or E, other? No, money can't make up for something like that, but it still didn't stop them. As I'm sure you've been around for a while, cement shoes. It's just like anything else out there. People who enrich themselves, either the creator or by making shit up. And I don't know a nice way to say it. Take the case of, when Christopher Watts case, hit the airwaves, and the murder of his wife and his two little girls and his unborn son. When that hit the airwaves, how many different creators were out there from around the world who were out there live streaming every day, asking for money to help pay for this, or buy a book, or have special access to a group chat or whatever it might have been, where that money is going to, eventually to the creator, and enriching them and lining their pockets. And then they're out of news. They don't have anything else to share. So they just make shit up. But how old were the girls when they were murdered on February 13th of 2017? How old were they? Question number 10 of 20. Rockard and Kitty Cooper are going with D. Just Jules, Gianna Marie, and Purple. Good evening, Purple, and welcome to tonight's trivia, Purple. I hope that you are doing well, Purple. Question number 10 of 20. The correct answer is, in fact, D, as in dog. Abby was 13 and Libby was 14 years of age when they were both murdered. 13 and 14 years of age. Now it is break time. We will be on break like we normally do for the next 6 minutes. Do what you need to do. Make a sandwich, smoke a bowl, power chug, shotgun some beers. Do what you need to do. You do you for the next 6 minutes. Committing character assassination on a murdered pregnant woman. That's true. Made a lot of money with those stupid made-up shadows. Yeah. Even after I offered that idiot the forensic reports for the video, a breakdown by two different professional organizations who both independently, not knowing that I sent them the video, that I sent the other company the video, he refused that information because it was truthful and it proved that there was no shadow in the driveway at all. And what did he do? First he blocked me, and then they went after me, and they attacked me. Then they doxed me. All the fun that I had. And what did I do? I just wanted the truth to get out there. 6 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Then we will be back. I only ever shotgunned a beer once. Kitty Q, honest to God truth, I've never shotgunned a beer. I have drank an awful lot of beer, especially when I was in college, through a funnel. A funnel and large surgical tubing. Done a lot of that, but I've never shotgunned a beer. Ooh, what does Sprinkle Donut say? Off to Taco Bell. Ooh. It didn't go well. Shotgunning a beer. I've done it all. I've done it all, says Rykart. Yeah, when I was in college, we used to, let's just say that there were some times when we may have partaked in excess. Kind of funny though. When I was in college, I had 5 roommates in my apartment, Every one of them was an engineering student, electrical, mechanical, engineers. And then me, I was an education major. None of them became engineers, though, eventually. None of them became engineers. But that's what they were all studying, was to become engineers. Back when I drank, I couldn't chug. I'd have gotten sick if I tried. Once, Johnny Dangerously. 3.5 minutes left. 3.5 minutes. Sprinkled donut, better hurry up. Got 3 minutes left until break. Not even 3 minutes left until break is over. Will Sprinkled Donut make it back from Taco Bell in time? Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. I haven't had Taco Bell in probably 2 years, somewhere in there. It's been snowing up in the mountains here in western Colorado. Wow. I bet my sister loves the fact that she no longer works for the Department of Transportation. She worked for the Department of Transportation in Colorado, where I cart for 24 years. And she just left the Department of Transportation, the DOT, and is now working as a postal worker inside of a building, not delivering mail. She's working inside of a large sorting manufacturing facility that sorts mail and packages. I can't with Taco Bell. On my way home, says Sprinkled Donut. All right. Taco Bell is good now. Their tacos and burritos are good nowadays. Oh, it's not that I have anything against the food, Reichardt, per se. It's I don't eat fast food, and it's not just Taco Bell. I don't eat any fast food. I would much rather go home and cook a meal than eat fast food. Now I understand that it's hard for a lot of people to be able to, maybe in your situation particularly since you're on the road, but to be able to have the ability to store a lot of fresh food, and you have to may rely upon packaged meals or fast food. I understand that. That to each their own. For me, that's just my own personal decision. Is I choose not to eat fast food. It's got way too much sodium in it for me. All right, we're almost done here with our break. 5 seconds left. All right, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Question number 11 is now on your screen. How many brushes or calls about him to law enforcement did Richard Allen have before he became a suspect in the murder of Abby and Libby? Was it A, 9 times, no arrests? B, 19 times, 2 arrests? C, 4 times? D, 3 times? Or E, other? How many brushes or calls about him to law enforcement did Richard Allen have before he became a suspect in the murder of Abby and Libby? Heather likes an omelet station. Omelet station. I used to make them. Well, they're a long ass time ago. I used to work for Red Lion, and I used to run the omelet station every Sunday morning. That was my job. I sat there making personal omelets all day long. Oh boy, did my life suck back then. All right. Don't know. Cement Shoes is changing it to E and Lala. Good evening, Lala. And welcome to tonight's trivia. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. How many brushes and calls about him to law enforcement did Richard Allen have before he became a suspect in the murder of Abby and Libby? Question number 11 of 20. The correct answer is C as in cat. 4 times. Every one of the calls were about him being intoxicated. One was at his sister's house, another one was at his own home. But each time law enforcement showed up about the call of him being intoxicated and being a menace, he was gone when they arrived. But they logged in that they responded to each and every one of the 4 calls for him being intoxicated. The other 2 times, it does not actually state what the calls or where the location is, other than that they were called and dispatched about Richard Allen being intoxicated. But 4 times, C as in cat. Allen looks very different. Look at in every picture of him. How creepy. That's exactly what I was trying to say earlier, right, Car? How quickly he's able to change his appearance. It's creepy. Certainly fits the that profile. All right, question number 12. What year did law enforcement release the second sketch of the person of interest in the murder of Abby and Libby based on additional information not gleaned from the cell phone? Was it A, 2020, B, 2019, C, 2018, D, in the year 2525? Is man still alive? E, other. What year did law enforcement release the second sketch of the person of interest in the murders of Abby and Libby based on additional information not gleaned from the cell phone? And in case you're wondering, the Carroll County Sheriff's Department and the Indiana State Police refused to notify anyone or say exactly why or how or what information it was that made them want to release the second sketch, the updated sketch after the first one. I remember a few years ago, I was reading that and then it went flying by. Oh, yeah, I've covered this case. Colleen, 41, thank you for being here with us tonight, Colleen. I hope you had a great weekend. Question number 12 of 20. What year did law enforcement release the second sketch of the person of interest in the murder of Abby and Libby based on additional information not gleaned from the cell phone? Colleen, C, if not before, says Colleen. In the year 2020. I like that song, though. In the year 2525, is man still alive? I think it's Evers, isn't it? Who sang that song? Answering D is blowing my mind. What year did law enforcement release the second sketch? Question number 12 of 20. The correct answer is B as in boy. In the year 2020. 2019 is when they released the second sketch, based again on information that was not seen on the cell phone. Additional information they will not release. It may come out in court in the case. Again, this case is still ongoing, but the second sketch was released based on information that they received, but they are not saying as of to this point, and I highly doubt we're going to get any more news releases from the Carroll County Sheriff's Department or the Indiana State Police on what they is going on in this case, since it's actually in trial now and Richard Allen is being held. He looks like the dog. Kind of. Exactly like Allen's is. My dog stole 16-year-old ex Mr. Allen's creepy fact. All right. Question number 13. How many places did Richard Allen hang out, drink beer, where a wanted poster and a sketch of the bridge guy appeared, yet no one called in a tip? Was it A, just 2 places, not including his work? B, 3 places, including his work? C, 5 places, including his workplace? D, 2 places, including his workplace? Or E, other? Look at the question, hear the question again, because this may trip you up. How many places did Richard Allen hang out and drink beer, where a wanted poster and a sketch of the bridge guy appeared, yet no one called in a tip? You thought Jimmy Fallon was the singer? I think it was Medgar Evans, right? I gotta look this up. Oh, Zagger and Evans. Zagger and Evans. Oh, I was close. Zagger and Evans sang in the song in the year 2525. Zagger and Evans. Kiddick is going with D, question mark. Heather, B. Smith Shoes, I think it's E. Sprinkle Donut, A. Juicy Jules, A as well. Colleen, I'm going with E. Reichardt is going with same here. Oh, if there P says Reichardt, same here. How many places did Richard Allen hang out and drink beer, where there was a wanted poster of the bridge guy, but yet no one called in a tip? Question number 13 of 20. Kitty Coo? No! I'm going with A. All right. Bonus point if you know where he worked. Where did Richard Allen work? What was his last place of employment? You can give yourself a bonus point if you know that. Question number 13 of 20. And her piece is going with CVS. How many places did Richard Allen hang out and drink beer where a wanted poster and a sketch of the bridge guy appeared, yet no one called in a tip? The correct answer is B as in boy. 3 places, including his workplace. According to a statement, I'm going to read this briefly, And I'm not going to give you the name of the individual because, again, this may come up in the actual case itself. On more than one occasion after work, we would sit on the tailgates of the trucks in the parking lot of our work and drink beer. End quote. 3 places, including his workplace. Those places, including his workplace, were the following: local tavern where he hung out, a bowling center, and a restaurant bar on top of his actual workplace. So a tavern, bowling center, and a restaurant bar, including his workplace, where he hung out and drank beer. And it had a sketch of the bridge guy hanging up, but no one called in a tip that he looked like the bridge guy. Again, look at how he was able to change his appearance just behind bars. How often did he change his appearance to look different from the bridge guy sketch before he was arrested? Thought it was only one place? Drank beer at work. Yep, in the parking lot. All right, next one is, did you know? Never forget the victims. I know I'm covering, my little photo in the corner here is covering up the word victims, but never forget. This is all about Libby and Abby and what tragically ended their lives and took them from us all. It's not about Richard Allen, and it never should be. Don't place that man on a pedestal and try to learn the nuances of his life inside and out. Think about Abby and Libby. What were their ambitions? What did they want to be when they grew up? What were their favorite songs? What was their favorite flowers? How did they get along with their siblings or their friends? Were they good at math? Did they like going to science fairs or reading books? And if so, who were their favorite authors? These are the things that we should be focused on. Abby and Libby, not Richard Allen. But again, we are doing trivia about Richard Allen. Question number 14. What social media hashtag did Abby and Libby's family use and still use to this day to keep awareness of this case alive? Is it A, hashtag justice for Abby and Libby? B, execute Richard Allen? D, Delphi police? D, the mountain lion express on meth? Or E, other? What social media hashtag did Abby and Libby's family use and still use to this day to keep awareness of this case alive? Your 13-year-old wants to do so many things and you're so scared. Oh, it's a trying time, Kitty Coo. It is a trying time. It'll drive you nuts. I remember when my daughter was when she turned 13. Right now, I'm doing everything I can to protect my 8-year-old. Oh, purple cement, Gianna Marie, Ivory Lady. Good evening, Ivory Lady. Heather and Reichert are all going with A. I hope you had a terrific weekend, Ivory Lady, and welcome to tonight's trivia. Question number 14 of 20. Social media hashtag. What did they use and what do they still use to this day? Heather's, your oldest is 9 and you're scared as well. It's hard. At some point, we do have to let them go and experience the world. But when? When is that the right time? Is there ever a right time? And Mama Bear in the house she is extraordinarily protective of more my son than my daughter. And my daughter had, I don't know, she was just one of those kids growing up. It's like you just knew she was going to get her into her fair share of situations, but she knew what the right and wrongs were. And that's all you can do is give them the information and trust eventually that they're going to, be able to make the right choices. Kidiku's oldest daughter is 25. And I remember doing it all over again. It's just scary. It is. All right. The answer to question number 14, the correct answer is A as in apple. Justice for Abby and Libby is the hashtag the family has been using all this time to keep awareness alive for and get justice for both Abby and Libby. Question number 15. What was the largest reward total that was offered for information leading to the arrest and conviction of whoever was responsible for the murders of Abby and Libby? Was it A, $1 billion, B, 177,000, C, 500,000, D, 325,000, or E, other? Again, what was the largest reward total that was offered for information leading to the arrest and conviction of whoever was responsible for the murders of Abby and Libby? Question number 15 of 20. Kitty Q's going with B. Letter P is 144,000. Ladies going with B. Raccoon's going with D. What was the largest reward total for information leading to the arrest and conviction of whoever is responsible for the murders of Abby and Libby? Gianna Marie is going with B, and so is Purple. Lala is going with D. I feel like some people like that are just looking for their 15 minutes of fame. Unfortunately, sprinkled on it, there are a lot of people out there like that, looking for their 15 minutes of fame, as Andy Warhol, suggested. But that 15 minutes of fame can take years upon years upon years to fix what they've done, if ever. All right. The correct answer to question 15 is D as in dog. $325,000 reward was put up as a reward for the arrest and conviction of whoever was responsible for killing Abby and Libby. Where did the $325,000 come from? It came from donations from businesses who offered to put up parts of it, and then the rest of it was from Crime Stoppers. But $325,000 is the largest reward that was put up. And as far as was able to find, I do not see that anyone will be claiming the $325,000. The arrest of Richard Allen was done by law enforcement and not by any one tip or person who called in a tip to point the finger at Richard Allen. But $325,000. I thought for sure it was going to be $1 billion because might have caught more of attention that way, but apparently not. You have to really have that money. All right, question number 16. How long after the discovery of the remains did Carroll Sheriff and the Indiana police take to call in the FBI to help on this case? Was it A, 4 years, B, 2 years, C, 46 hours, D, after the first 48 hours, it's a TV show, or E, other? How long after the discovery of the remains did the Carroll Sheriff and Indiana police take to call in the FBI? If I was one of his pool hall buddies, I would have been tipping him in every freaking week. Right? Callie Lisa is going with C. Blackheart, 144,000 years. I relate, and some issues are going with C as well. Calling, love the police, but way too long. Kitty coo, going with C, question mark. Gianna Marie is going with C. How long after the discovery of the remains did the Carroll Sheriff and Indiana State Police take to call in the FBI? The correct answer is C, as in cat. 46 hours after the discovery of the remains of Abby and Libby, the first call to the FBI was placed. Less than an hour and a half later, the FBI was there on the scenes with them. An hour and a half is all it took for the FBI to show up from the time that they were called. All right. Did you know that this is what I was telling you about that when it came to the second sketch? The photo that is in the lower right-hand corner of Richard Allen was taken 2 weeks prior to his arrest. That you can see he has a shaved, down beard and mustache and goatee. Now you overlay that on the bridge guy photo, the sketch that was given. 13 points on the actual structure match 100%. This is the tip of the nose, the bridge of the eyes, the cheeks, the chin, the mouth line, the 13 points. How many total points are there on a sketch or in a positivity identification according to the computer system? There is a total of 21, but 13 of the 21 total matched Richard Allen to the bridge guy, the second sketch, the eyes, all of that. So 13 of the 21. What points don't match? How the ears lay back in the actual photo itself compared to the sketch. In the sketch, you can see that the face is a little bit wider and not. His face is a little bit narrower in this photo. But even if you just take the facial structure, but there are things like that that are not as needed for an identification. He would, if this photo was released and the sketch was released, it should have matched to Richard Allen a lot sooner. But yet, even then, after the second sketch was released in 2019, no one was calling in like, hey, I know that guy. I am in that pharmacy every week, and I see that guy stocking shelves or helping the pharmacist. No one called in a tips for that, as far as we know right now. Now, that's all up to, possibly change, because again, this case is ongoing. This is not a concluded case. All right. Question number 17. We have all heard of the 3.5 seconds of video and audio recording of the bridge guy saying down the hill. How long is the entire audio and video believed to be in total? There is no 100% confirmation of this, ladies and gentlemen, but there is a consensus of how long by when it was approached from a reporter to the actual chief of the head of the sheriff's department. He'd never yes, that's how long it is, or no, that's it's shorter than that. He just refused to answer, but he just kind of smiled when the reporter asked. So we're using that as a basis of, yeah, it's probably that long. Is the correct answer A, 23 seconds long, B, 1 minute 8 seconds, C, 2 minutes 9 seconds, D, 14 minutes, or E, other? Again, there is no 100% confirmation. We will get the confirmation to this one 100% when the case actually starts, throughout the trial, or hopefully we'll find out about it then, and not after the trial is over. But how long is the audio and video believed to be in total? I remember when we thought Barry might be involved because he's from Indiana. Sven Shoes, E, 45 seconds is what I heard. Gianna Marie is going with B, Ivory Lady, A. Heather, B. I think Barry Morphew's involved in at least one homicide. I can pretty much put my finger on that one. But did he kill in Indiana? I highly doubt it, because he was busy plotting another one. Allegedly. Didn't the trial already begin, Red Cart? It has just started this past week. Saturday, they had a half day of actual, trial. Friday, Saturday, and here we are today. Question number 17 of 20. He 1 inch shorter than he claims to be. Yeah, no live video from the court proceedings at all. Freaking Barry Mountain Lion Morphew. You're not liking the judge so far in this case? No television or streaming anywhere. The best we are getting so far is court reporters that are staked, and reporters who are staked outside of the place, and they're waiting to talk to people who are sitting in the gallery, in the actual trial, who are sitting there, and they want to make any statements about what they may have learned. We're not getting much information, and highly doubt we're going to get a heck of a lot anyways. And that's why I say I'm hoping we find out how long the video is, during the actual trial, and we don't have to wait until the end of it, because we don't know how long it's going to take, the actual trial itself. But question number 17 of 20, how long is the audio video believed to be? They believe it to be right around 23 seconds in length, is how long she actually took video and captured audio on her cell phone. And just think, would we have ever been to this point where Richard Allen would have been arrested without the video? Without the video, we wouldn't have been able to make the first sketch of the bridge guy. We wouldn't have had that audio. Yeah, maybe forensically it would eventually caught up to him. I would hope, I would pray that it would, but we wouldn't have the 2 sketches without her shooting that little tiny bit of video. Question number 18. Which family member spearheaded fundraisers got the park project going, refused to give up, and took on a role of at least 3 others in memory of the girls? Was it A, Abby's father, B, a distant cousin of Abby's, C, Libby's grandfather, D, Abby's mother, or E, other? Yeah, I wish we did. At least they could do is like if they're going to do the audio, I mean audio video of it of the trial. Maybe put it on delay. Okay, this is what took place today. Here, 10 minutes later from the actual events that took place, and here's the video and audio. You can release it, but they're not even doing that. Which family member spearheaded the fundraisers, got the park project going, refused to give up, and took on a role of at least 3 others in memory of the girls? Lemon Pie is going with, it was Pauly Shore. It was definitely Pauly Shore. Good old Pauly Shore. The Weasel. The Weasel. Question number 18 of 20. Lemon Pie and Gianna Marie are both going with A. Sprinkled Ivory are going with A. Kitty Q is going with A as well. All right. Question number 18. The correct answer is C, as in cat. Libby's grandfather, Mike Patty. Mike Patty is his name, ladies and gentlemen. He has been by far the most vocal individual to keep the memory of Abby and Libby alive, and has spearheaded not only just a fundraiser, but he's done so much to get the park project and everything else to keep it going, to keep to be the thorn in the side of all the law enforcement agencies who were investigating this case, and refused to give up or let their memories die. And anytime he thought that there was, the national media or anybody wasn't paying, enough attention to Abby and Libby's case and investigating it, he would go out of his way and make phone calls and go on and do, anything he could to keep the memory of Abby and Libby alive. And in a lot of aspects, every family needs somebody like that, an advocate for the victims. And he has been an advocate and still is an advocate for them both. Mike Patty, Libby's grandfather, has refused to let this go. He wants justice for them both. Question number 19. What was Richard Allen seen doing the day after Abby and Libby were murdered? Was it A, smoking meth with a mountain lion? B, burning a J with Barry Morphew? C, burning items in a fire pit? D, taking a nap with Amber Heard? Or E, other? What was Richard Allen seen doing the day after Abby and Libby were murdered? Question number 19 of 20. C, and C. A lot of C's so far. Lemon Pie, Cali Lisa, La, Kitty Q, Ivory Lady, all going with C. Reichardt is going with A. Smoking meth with a mountain lion. Hanging out in his van at the CVS drinking beer, says Inner Peas. Heather, Sprinkled Donut are going with C as well. Lemon Pie is going with E, watching Jersey Shore while on bath salts. Gianna Marie and some issues are going with C as well. No one thinks he was smoking a joint with Barry Morphew? No? How about taking a nap with Amber Heard? I mean, what could possibly happen there? Oh. Oh, okay. I guess we know what happens if you take a nap or sleep in the same bed as Amber Heard. Da-da-da. Johnny found out the wrong way. Question number 19 of 20. All right. The correct answer to question number 19 of 20 is C, as in cat. According to his neighbor, and this is a public statement, according to the neighbor who lives right beside Richard Allen, his wife and daughter, the following happened. Is the statement. I've seen him use that fire pit maybe 2 or 3 times in the past, 5 years that I can remember. It was very peculiar to see him out there burning things again. That is a statement from the neighbor. That is a publicly known statement from the neighbor that lives right next to Richard, well, did live next to Richard Allen. All right, question number 20 of 20. Oh, first, did you know the internet and society as a whole forgets about the victims after tragic events like this take place? They focus on learning the details of about the alleged murder. So how about some tiny facts about Abby and Libby? Abby's favorite flowers were roses and lilies, and Libby loved all flowers, but loved carnations and daisies when they bloomed in the late summer. That is a statement and information that comes directly from their family. Did they find something in his backyard? Yes, sprinkled on it. They did. In the shed and in the fire pit. That is known public information. All right, question number 20. What rather bizarre thing did Richard Allen do at his place of employment the day after the murders of Abby and Libby that his co-workers made fun of him for doing? Was it A, he finally took home his dirty uniforms? B, he put on a clean shirt? C, he cleaned out his locker? Or D, he took down a picture of guns and knives? Or E, other? What rather bizarre thing did Richard Allen do at his place of employment the day after murders of Abby and Libby that his coworkers made fun of him for doing? Question number 20 of 20. And don't forget, after trivia, we have the missing and endangered. This is an actual case of someone from across America that has disappeared or is endangered. And we need information, your help, if you can possibly give it, to help solve this case. But it's after the trivia. It's not that long. So don't take off yet. But apparently, we're losing people left and right now because we're finally to the number 20. Question number 20 of 20. What rather bizarre thing did Richard Allen do at his place of employment the day after Abby and Libby were murdered? Just like Chud Daybell. Excuse me. All right, question 20 of 20. The correct answer is C, as in cat. He cleaned out his locker. His coworkers made fun of him and poked fun at him and said, at least one of his former coworkers said, "Are you fixing to get fired? Why are you cleaning out your locker?" He wasn't fired. He wasn't about to be fired. Actually, they liked him there because he always did his job. But he cleaned out his locker and took everything home. Now, in hindsight, that's probably because he thought they were close to him and catching him. But he cleaned out his locker, and his coworkers actually made fun of him for doing it. So they like, why would you clean out your entire locker? But he did it the day after Abby and Libby were both murdered. All right. How well did you do in tonight's trivia? This is completely optional. You do not need to do this. Give yourself a letter grade. Some people like to do it. Some people don't. It is completely optional. We are only here for entertainment and for fun. There is no one is better at this than anyone else. Maybe you feel it that way, but that is not the truth. Some people, you can use the internet, Google, whatever you want. Phone a friend, ask your significant other on the couch. Shout out to the lady at the truck stop or whatever you need to never come up with the answers. Lily Rose. Good evening, Lily Rose. So many red flags early on. All right, so of the 20 questions, how many did I know before putting this trivia together? I knew 9. 9 of the 20. I would have gotten myself a C on this tonight. 9 out of 20. All right, next is a little update on a change that is going to happen for trivia in the month of November. Starting in November of 2024, all the trivia questions will include 5 possible answers, A, B, C, D, and E. However, in some cases, the correct answer may not appear in these options, so E is designated as other. Currently, all questions display correct answers on the screen with the choices through A through D, and E has always been traditionally been reserved for humorous or comical purposes. In the month of November, not before we end the month of October, but in November, that some questions will not have the actual correct answer on the screen anymore. It may be other. You may be presented with 4 possible choices that are not the answer at all, and other is going to be, yes, it's something else. It's not one of those 4. You can still use E for comical and humorous purposes, but again, it'll be 5 choices, A, B, C, D, or E, starting in the month of November. That again, please do not take that as, no, I can't answer E anymore, to answer that it's burying more for you, smoking meth with the mountain lions in a van down by the river. You can put whatever you want as E. But E could possibly be an answer starting in November. All right, cold case of someone missing or deceased. You may think you don't know much. You didn't see much, and you know a little tiny piece. Maybe it's just that little piece that could help close a case and bring closure to a family. Wouldn't you want someone to do the same for you, as in these families in their situation? If you know something, you don't have to wait. Just call anyone. And you don't even have to call the number that I give you or the links that I give you. You can call in a tip anonymously to your state, your local, or the FBI or anyone. All right, I am again doing this with the following organizations: the Missing and Exploited Children, Name Us, the Charlie Project, and the FBI. All their links are right there on the screen in blue. I am not paid to do this. This is not a paid promotional advertisement for any of these organizations, nonprofits, or the federal government. I do this because I'm trying to help bring awareness to these cases from across the United States. I do this just for that and only that, to make sure that the truth and justice is pursued. Tonight's case is of Regina Marie Boss, last seen on 10/17 of 2000. Where she vanished from was Lincoln, Nebraska. She is 5'6", 150 to 160 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. And I did not include it there, but you can clearly see from the photo she wears corrective lenses as well. Regina vanished after playing guitar at an open mic night where she often performed in Lincoln, Nebraska. She was seen leaving the bar with her guitar and sheet music. Her car, should say her, not he, her car was found the next day parked across the street from the bar with her guitar and sheet music in the trunk of the car. But the trunk was not latched, as if she had just put it in there, but hadn't had an opportunity to push the trunk closed all the way. Foul play is highly suspected, but not confirmed in this. This is a new case that has been sent to me via a subscriber who follows the Jason Project. That is another nonprofit, group of people who are out there doing the same thing that NamUs and the Charlie Project are doing, but it's called Project Jason, trying to bring awareness to people who have disappeared. If you know anything, you can call either your local police department, the FBI, and remain anonymous if you know anything about the disappearance of Regina. Or you can call 402-441-7706. Again, with any and all these cases that I'm presenting you of people who are missing and endangered, if you have any information, no matter how small, please contact your local law enforcement, state patrol, county sheriff's department. Your tip could be a crucial piece that is needed to help close a case, bring family closure. There's nothing preventing you from helping except yourself. You may decide, hey, I don't want to get involved. Yeah, I saw something that happened. I know you knew Regina. She played the guitar at the open mic night at this bar and at this bar, and she wasn't that good. I should also add that additionally about Regina's case, and I'm going to go back and bring the one photo, this one back up. This photo is the photo that was taken the closest to the point of her disappearance. It's actually about a year prior to the 10/17/2000 when she disappeared. Excuse me. Regina had been married twice before, but both of her divorces were amicable. In fact, one of her husbands was at the bar. One of her most recent ex-husband was at the bar the night that Regina Marie Boss vanished. He has been excluded, as is the first husband, who now lives out of state, and at that time, and still does. But the most recent ex-husband was there. They had a conversation for a little bit. They were on friendly terms. There was no, animosity towards each other. They both decided, in the divorce that they just weren't getting along, and it wasn't in their best interest to keep going. But both husbands have been excluded as possibly having any involvement in the disappearance of Regina Marie Boss. Regina had a boyfriend at the time, and she does have children. Now, the night that she disappeared, she was supposed to go to her boyfriend's house. He waited up until about midnight, but then fell asleep on the couch. When he woke up in the morning, he immediately, started making phone calls, to see what happened. Where's Regina? Maybe she went home instead of coming to his house. And no one was able to find her. And they went looking for her, and that is how they actually found her car. The boyfriend and one of her older kids, they were the ones that found the car in a parking lot near the place that she had played at. The boyfriend, again, I want to make sure that everyone understands, has been cleared, and has no involvement in the disappearance of Regina. But This is what she looked like with glasses, and I purposely put this one in there of her making a goofy face where you can see her eyes, but because she's not wearing her corrective lenses in this photo. And that is it. That is it for trivia and for the missing and endangered individual. And I know a lot of people say, hey, it's been 24 years. She's probably not alive. You know, she's probably been dead for a long time. Yeah. But it still doesn't mean that, you know, her family and friends are not in pain and suffering today over, you know, what possibly happened to Regina. And somebody out there saw something. Maybe somebody was talking to her at her car. Maybe they saw her get in another car and they know the make and model or the color of the car. It could be something as small as that. Hey, I know Regina because she plays guitar, and you saw her get into the passenger side of a pickup truck or a van or whatever. Somebody knows something. Good night, Gianna Marie. Thank you for being here for trivia. Oh, and Sal popped in. You can always watch it and rewind. And for anybody else, you can always watch it and rewind. 327 episodes there are. And I checked the other day, 215 that are all in the same playlist for trivia. I'm slowly moving all the trivia into one playlist. There are actually 3 different trivias because I used to do trivia on Fridays, and then I did a music trivia and a Hollywood trivia that was crime related, and those are in separate playlists, and I have to move them all into one. It's not as easy as you just click and a drop down menu comes and you move it. You have to do a whole lot more, and then that's YouTube and their infinite way that they set the stupid thing up. But I'm slowly but surely moving all of them into one playlist so you can binge watch all 327 episodes. Somebody knows something. Exactly. That is true. People disappear all the time in America, but it doesn't mean that there's not somebody behind who, loves them, misses them, wishes they knew. Even, I'll give you an example for myself. My brother disappeared in 1973, and there isn't a single sibling of his that don't miss him to this day. We don't know what happened to him. My dad, my brother was obviously, he's older than me. He wasn't like a little kid. He was an adult. He was 18 years of age. But in 1973, my dad said that he cut off communication with him because he joined a cult. Now, you have to understand 1973 and my father. My father was raised Roman Catholic, and he was Roman Catholic up until about 70, in the early 70s there. And then he changed over from Roman Catholic to just Catholic. And he always considered people who were Baptist or Lutheran or Mormon, he considered all of those religions, people who followed those, as being in a cult. That's just who my father was. Great man, but he always thought the people that didn't follow the same religion as him were in a cult. So, and he cut off communication with my brother, and my brother vanished soon after. Was he in a cult? Did he join Jim Jones and the People Temple and move off to Ghana, and drink purple, Flavor-Aid? We don't know. But again, my point to all that is that was 1973. We still miss him to this day, and we still want the answers. There's a different link for this live on your community page. Is there? I'm sorry. That happens sometimes. Interpedes with YouTube. I can correct and delete it after this. because I'm not actually on YouTube. I'm not logged into YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, none of them right now. I would have to shut this down and then log into the others, or YouTube, and then from YouTube I can change the stream key, and that's what it is, the stream key. Sometimes if you write it out or cut and paste it, it can get changed. And then sometimes YouTube doubles them for some reason. They just like, oh, this one's got to be different. So, but thank you for telling me about it, though. I will definitely take care of it after this. It's all right, Rykard. As the years have gone by, you know, well, I don't want to say it's gotten easier, and it certainly hasn't. But here's a bonus: I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for that. And my sister, who God rest her soul, she's passed about 4 years ago now, but she wouldn't have become the person that she was, through it all. And without that, I wouldn't have met some of the greatest people that I've ever met in my life. Without the fact that what happened with my brother vanishing, me and my oldest sister had not. So I didn't lose my oldest sister. It's the sister just below my oldest. So it goes sister, my sister passed, me, and then I got other siblings who are younger. But we spent years building a Rolodex. Yeah, and paper Rolodexes. Anybody remember those? With cards on them for contacts, people that we contacted and kept communication with. This is before the internet. The internet wasn't always around. Some of the younger kids are like, oh, the internet's always been here. I've had this computer device in my pocket. It's got the world's information on it. No. First cell phone I had was bigger than about the size of this damn cup. The old Motorola brick was the first cell phone I had. But anyways, that we built a Rolodex of communications, and over the years that we kept them updated. People in different walks of life. Maybe they were in law enforcement, but now they're actually a judge or they were retired. But we kept track of them and communication with them over the years. And as the internet became more available, and from the 90s on, it opened up a lot more doors for us. But it changed our life permanently. And I became, the sleuth that I am to this day, because of, what took place. And I mean, obviously, I never would have started a YouTube channel if it wasn't for the fact that my friend was murdered. And me and my friend wanted to go to the parole hearing to make sure that the SOB who killed him never got out of prison. And I wanted to refresh my memory of the case itself. So when I went to go look it up on Internet Archives and newspapers, news sources, I couldn't find it because it was all behind a paywall now after all those years. And then I found it on YouTube. And that was the saddest thing, the saddest day, and I hope I never have to experience it again, was so many people had made videos and done live streams about the murder of my friend who I grew up with. I've known most of my life. And there were all the videos and live streams were just filled full of lies. Nobody knew him. And it was like he didn't exist. If you don't know him, it's like they don't exist. So I made a video. I told my wife, I'm going to make a video of, talking about our friend. Because my wife knew him too, kind of weird circumstance, but she knew him too. And I made a video about it and nobody watched it. Nobody cared about the truth after all those years. It was too late. But I knew right then and there, by looking at the sheer number of people who watched those videos and took part in those live streams and sent super chats to the creator who was lying their effing ass off about the entire thing and made up all kinds of accusations about my friend, and it was bizarre. that lies sell. People want to hear the next gossip. They want to be able to dig into the National Enquirer, version of the truth. They don't want the facts. They want you to give them the story in tiny little snippets. Can you make that and give me the entire case in under 10 seconds? If you can't give me the case in under 10 seconds, I'm going to tune you out. I'm never going to watch. I'm never going to listen. And that's why it's important that we never forget, like Abby and Libby tonight, never forget the victim. Don't focus on who Richard Allen is and what his favorite color is and if you like, chocolate chip cookies. We need to know, what did Abby and Libby like? They were the ones who were not going to be here tomorrow. One of them could have had the cure for cancer. We don't know what they're possibly going to do in the future. One could solve world, hunger. We don't know, but they're not here now to solve those problems, in the future. That is true, Lily. Very true. Lily Rose says, you can show people the truth, but people prefer the drama. Absolutely. But that's the world we live in. Right, Kurt? I don't talk about your brother, but I didn't vanish, or either did he vanish. But we are complete strangers. I know where he's at, and he knows where he can find me anytime, but he doesn't care about me. Well, Rykart, only thing I can say is, the ball is in your court. There are a million post offices out there. Send him a postcard. The only thing that your brother can do is just take it and toss it in the trash. Or maybe tomorrow afternoon, he'll save it and he'll look back on it and say, and take it out of the trash can and say, maybe there's something, that I should do. I should say hello, send a postcard back, whatever it might be. You never know. But the soon as we all give up is the day that we accept that that's the way it is. I'll be honest. I have never gotten along with my older sister. We just we we bang heads, constantly. She is deep into the conspiracy theory, and she drinks the Kool-Aid of one political party over another, and that has become her persona. She hates all these people that are different from her and won't accept or even consider that they're these people that she hates, that they have feelings and they have, reason to live and they should be here. She doesn't see any value in them. And it hurts, that she feels that way. And that has become her entire, person, who she is. But I still love her. She's still my sister. And even though I want to give up on her, because it'd be a lot easier than having to, deal with the, constant pain and, trauma from her, I still deal with her. Even if it's just, once a year to send her, a happy birthday on Facebook or something. I still try to, keep at least my foot in the door. But each of us have a different circumstance, and every one of us has a different life story, and we all have to live it somehow. We have to find our way in this world, and we have to. It maybe the right decision for you and your best in mental health, for you is to to say, look, this is what it's going to be, and you have to, say, look, you don't need any more. You've taken enough crap from this person. Maybe that's the best situation for you. Lamont, Lamont at Large, Lamont on the Run. I love watching Lamont. I could do a video about it, cement shoes. You know, it's where would I put the content though? Where would I actually, if I made, let's just say hypothetically say I made a video about it, where would I put it? Can't put it on this channel because I've learned one thing over the years that I've been doing this. Don't you dare deviate from the actual stories, you know, and the type of content that is here that you're doing on this channel. Because as soon as you deviate, a little here, people hate you. They'll unsubscribe. I made what in the last year and a half with YouTube Shorts. I've made about $10, but so many people hate them. I mean, they hate them. But then I see those same people over on TikTok and on Instagram. I'm like, really? You hate shorts videos, but you're over here? I'm like, I see them in the comments. I see them on there. I know that some of them even have TikTok channels of their own. I'm like, you just don't like it because the content is different from what you expect me to be doing. That's what you hate. You want me to do this and only this. But I guess I could put it over on my other channel, CDXI. I've got a very unique story, in life, and just as each and every one of you do as well. A good friend of mine once, told me that not too long ago that I have lived the life of 10 men, and in just this one lifetime. And I have so many experiences and things that have changed me. Besides my brother, that obviously nudged me. His disappearance nudged me in one direction. You never know. Kitiku, I don't know who Lamont is. Kitiku, all right, here is Lamont's channel names, his YouTube channel names. Lamont at Large. Lamont at Large, that's one channel. Then he has Lamont on the Run. Then he has, I don't know if he's still posting to Big Bigelow or not. But I used to follow that one, but it was not my type of content. I prefer Lamont on the Run and Lamont at Large, but his name is Lamont. Will, could you do a video on Amy Milkovich, Bay Valley, Ohio, 1989? She was murdered at the age of 11. With my pen. Amy. MIHLL. 1989. 89 murder. Bay Valley. I can. Is he still posting to Black Bigelow? Like I said, Cement Shoes. I used to be a subscriber to Black Bigelow, but it's just not my type of content. I mean, it's great content for those who like it. I just prefer Lamont at Large and Lamont on the Run. Well, Mott's a great guy. If you like true crime, he definitely covers true crime and crime, and he actually goes to locations where these crimes took place, and he tells you about what happened. And then they might take you to the grave of where the people are. That's what Lamont does. And then on Lamont, also he's interviewed people who are homeless and maybe are having mental health and drug addiction issues. He's talked to them. Between the two channels, Lamont on the Run, Lamont at Large, he does a little bit of everything. He gave me a shout out once. Lamont did. He was at a Bucky's truck stop, and gave me in my channel a shout out. I was covering the Jared Lysick crap at the time, and that pathetic individual. But he gave me a shout out on his channel, and I really do appreciate that. And I'll give Lamont a shout out anytime. Lamont is a homeless guy living in a van. Makes very interesting YouTube videos about cases and visits to tombstones. He's a cool guy. He's one of the, that says that he is homeless. I just have trust issues. LOL. But I trust you guys. Ohio. Thank you. I thought you said Ohio earlier. I wasn't sure, so I didn't write down, but I did now. Cement Juice, thank you very much. Still does videos on Black Bigelow, but they're mostly short videos. Okay. I watch a lot of interesting content. I've been really watching a lot of, like, up and comer, like not up and comer, like, oh, we're gonna be the next rising star YouTuber, and people are just starting off YouTube channels. That I've been watching a lot of that lately. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up tonight's trivia. I hope that every one of you guys out there, and ladies, has a great week ahead. And you stay safe out there until next time. But before I close this out tonight, if you like the content that I provided tonight, please give it a thumbs up. It does help just a tiny bit to move it up into the algorithm to be, shared out to other people who may be interested in it. If you didn't like the content, give it a thumbs down. And, it's the same. People think, and they really don't like this. And I hate to break it to you and to everybody else, but giving a thumbs down on content, it doesn't do what you think it does. All it shows is there is an interaction. And then if you hit thumbs down and you've watched 100 other things in the last 30 days that are the same things that meet the same algorithm, responses, and you gave this a thumbs down, it's going to show, well, maybe you didn't like that one little piece of content, but we're still going to suggest out all this to you, that are all on the same road as what I'm doing. So if you don't like me, it helps just a little bit. If you like me, it helps just a little bit. But everyone, take care. Bay Village. Well, I still would have found it. But everyone, you all have a great week. And thank you again. Got an automatic thumbs up, Reichardt? You as well. And you stay safe out there on the roads around America, Reichardt, especially where you're at now, if it's snowing. I hope that you're prepared for it. And I'm sure you are, though. Bye, everyone. Stay safe out there.